If you think family will always protect you no matter what, listen to this. Because the night my own parents broke into my house and destroyed everything I owned, I realized something terrifying. What they didn't know was that this house wasn't just my home. It was the key to everything they were about to lose. I never imagined my life would turn into something people whisper about at family gatherings. Growing up, I was the responsible one, the quiet daughter, the one who followed rules, studied hard, and didn't ask for much. You know that sickening moment when you realize the people who gave you life would rather destroy yours than face their own mistakes. 3 months ago, I walked into my dream home and found it completely demolished, every wall spray painted, every possession shattered, 2 years of my life reduced to rubble. My own parents and sister did this because I refused to hand over my hard-earned money for my sister's mess. But here's what they didn't know. This house they destroyed? It was worth almost $500,000, and I was about to close the biggest deal of my life. What I did next didn't just get me revenge. It made me rich, and it destroyed them completely. I'm Sophia. I'm 28 years old, and this is the true story of how my family tried to bury me, and how I made sure they'd be the ones 6 feet under instead. Growing up, I was invisible. My sister Amber, she was the golden child. Every breath she took was a miracle. She got a C on a test. My parents hired a tutor. She wrecked her car doing makeup while driving. Dad bought her a newer one. Meanwhile, I brought home straight A's, and my mom would say, "That's expected, Sophia," like my success meant nothing. I learned something by age 12. I was completely alone, so I stopped expecting anything. I got a job at 14, saved every penny. While Amber got a BMW for her 16th birthday, I bought my first car with crumpled bills I'd earned serving coffee at 5 a.m. before school. College? 3 jobs. Cleaning offices at night, waitressing weekends, tutoring rich kids. I lived in a basement apartment where pipes groaned like they were dying. I ate ramen until I couldn't look at it anymore, but I graduated. Business degree, 0 debt, and a fire in my belly that could burn down cities. By 25, I'd saved $35,000. I bought my first house, a disaster property in a neighborhood just starting to turn around. I taught myself renovation using YouTube. I tiled bathrooms at midnight. I painted until my arms screamed. 6 months later, I sold it for a $30,000 profit. Then I did it again and again. 3 years later, I owned 4 rental properties and was living in my masterpiece, a stunning Victorian I'd spent 2 years restoring. Every room told my success story. Custom cabinets I designed. Vintage fixtures I hunted at estate sales. French doors opening to a balcony where I'd drink coffee, thinking, I did this all by myself. It was my sanctuary. My proof I didn't need them. Amber, meanwhile, was a train wreck in designer heels. She'd bounced between 5 colleges, never finishing. Then she discovered entrepreneurship, a boutique that closed in 6 months. 30,000 gone. A food truck that failed health inspections. 20,000 down the drain. A life coaching business where she had 0 qualifications. Every time, Mom and Dad were right there with open wallets when I'd ask for $500 for textbooks in college. Dad literally laughed and said, "You're smart enough to figure it out," but Amber could burn through thousands and get nothing but support and another check. Then came the phone call that changed everything. Tuesday night. I was installing light fixtures, standing on a ladder, feeling proud. My phone rang. "Mom," I almost ignored it. "Sophia, honey, we need to talk. It's urgent." My stomach dropped. "What happened?" "It's Amber. She's in serious trouble. We need your help." I closed my eyes. What did she do now? She got involved with business partners. They took advantage of her. She's in debt. How much debt? The pause felt eternal. $150,000. The room spun. "I'm sorry." "What?" She didn't know what she was doing. These people scammed her. She took out loans, maxed out credit cards. If she doesn't pay, they'll sue her. She could go to jail. I laughed bitterly. "Mom, Amber not going to jail. She's going to face consequences for the first time in her entitled life. She's your sister. And she made these choices. She's an adult. Sophia, please." Now crying. "Your father and I have emptied our retirement. We've refinanced the house twice. We have nothing left. My heart pounded. I knew what was coming. We need you to sell one of your properties. Maybe two, to save your sister. I stood in my beautiful dining room and felt something break inside me. Not shatter. Break like a lock snapping open. You want me to sell the houses I bought with money I earned while you bought Amber cars. The houses I renovated myself while you paid for Amber college applications she never used. You want me to give up what I built with my own hands. To fix Amber mess. Again. Sophia. She's family. When was I family, Mom? When you forgot my graduation because Amber had a dentist appointment? When Dad told me I was too ambitious? When you took Amber to Europe and gave me a card with $20? When was I family? We've always loved you. No, you've tolerated me. My answer is no. Amber needs to deal with her own consequences. Sophia Marie, you listen, I hung up. For 48 hours, my phone became a weapon. Text after text. Call after call. Dad, this is incredibly selfish. We raised you better. Mom, how can you sleep knowing your sister is suffering? Amber, I can't believe you're doing this to me. I guess money is more important than family. Extended family I hadn't heard from in years suddenly had opinions. I blocked them all. And then I made my biggest mistake. I thought it was over. I had no idea what was coming. Friday afternoon. I'd been showing a rental property to a nice couple. We talked for 2 hours. I felt good. Business was thriving. I pulled into my driveway around 6:30. Golden sunset light. My beautiful Victorian standing like something from a magazine. But something was wrong. The front door was open. Not just unlocked. Wide open. The frame was splintered. Wood pieces on the porch. Lock hanging loose. My blood went cold. I should have called 911. But panic took over. I ran inside. Hello? Is someone here? Nothing. I stepped in and the world stopped. My living room looked bombed. The couch I'd spent 3 months finding slashed open. Stuffing everywhere. Coffee table flipped. Legs broken. My TV face down. Screen shattered. Every picture frame smashed. Glass everywhere. The kitchen was worse. Cabinets open. Dishes smashed against walls. My grandmother's china, the only thing I had left of her, in pieces. Flour, sugar, coffee grounds dumped everywhere. Refrigerator contents thrown around, and on the wall, in huge dripping red spray paint. Family first. My knees buckled. This wasn't random. This was personal. A message. I stumbled to my bedroom. Door off its hinges. Mattress slashed to ribbons. Every drawer dumped. Clothes ripped with scissors. Jewelry box empty. Photos torn in half. But my office broke me. My desk, filing system, vision board all destroyed. Papers everywhere. Files torn. My laptop with all my business records gone. On my desk in red spray paint. You did this. I sank to the floor, surrounded by ruins, and couldn't breathe. Then I saw it, partially hidden under torn papers. A bracelet. Silver with initials engraved. A.M. Amber Murray. The custom bracelet Dad made for her 21st birthday. She wore it constantly, showed it off in every Instagram photo, and it was on my office floor. Everything clicked. The spray paint. The personal destruction. The family first message. My own family had done this. I sat holding that bracelet, and something inside me transformed. Years of being overlooked crystallized into something clear, cold, and absolutely certain. They wanted to destroy me. Fine, I'd make sure they destroyed themselves instead. I called 911 with shaking hands. I need to report a break-in, and I know exactly who did it. Police arrived 15 minutes later. 2 officers, a middle-aged man and a tough-looking younger woman. Ma'am, are you injured? No, I just got home. But I know who did this. I held up the bracelet. My sister. This is hers. And my parents helped her. The male officer's eyebrows shot up. Your family broke into your home. Yes, they wanted money. I refused. This is what they did. I walked them through. Watched their expressions change from skeptical to shocked to angry. This will be expensive to restore, the female officer said. Do you have insurance? Yes, but I have something better. I pulled out my phone. I have a security system. Everything is recorded. Cloud backup. They have no idea. Both officers' eyes widened. You have video evidence? Every single second. Want to see? We stood in my destroyed living room. I pulled up the security app. Timestamp 2:15 p.m. There in crystal clear HD was my father's car pulling in. Dad getting out, pulling a crowbar from his trunk. Him attacking my door while Mom watched and Amber filmed it. Laughing. 2 hours of systematic destruction. Amber spray painting walls while giggling. My mother smashing my grandmother's china with cold calculation. Dad unplugging my laptop and walking out. At one point, my mother looked directly at a camera and said clearly, "This is what happens when you turn your back on family, Sophia. This is what you deserve." The female officer's gaze pierced through me. "Miss Sophia, this is breaking and entering, vandalism, destruction of property, and theft. Serious felonies. Are you certain you want to press charges against your family?" I stared at the rubble that was once my home. At Amber bracelet glinting in the evidence bag. At 2 years of my life destroyed because I dared say no, yes. Full charges. All 3 of them. Even your parents? Especially my parents. Marcus Chan, one of the state's most ruthless criminal attorneys, examined the evidence and smiled coldly. "You have them dead to rights. Video, physical evidence, motive, witnesses. Sophia, you could bury them." Good. That's exactly what I want. The arrests came at dawn. Dad handcuffed at his office, colleagues watching in shock. Mom arrested at the grocery store, screaming my name. Amber live streaming when police arrived. 12,000 followers watched her arrest in real time. The video went viral within hours. My phone exploded. Not from them, they never called. From everyone else. Extended family suddenly desperate for unity and forgiveness. I blocked them all. Except Uncle Robert. "Sophia, are you okay?" I nearly broke. "Uncle Robert, they destroyed everything." "I know, sweetheart. I've watched your father enable Amber for years. I'm not asking you to drop charges. I'm calling to tell you that whatever you decide, I support you completely." Those words meant everything. 3 days later, their public defender called Marcus. My family wanted a deal. They're offering $20,000 in restitution and community service, Marcus explained. "Absolutely not. Sophia, trials can be unpredictable, Marcus. I have video of them committing multiple felonies. My mother literally said on camera I deserve this. They have no defense." He grinned. "I was hoping you'd say that, because I've been researching their finances. Your sister's debt isn't 150. It's closer to 200,000 with interest and penalties. Your parents refinanced their house twice, once for the boutique, once for the food truck. They're underwater on the mortgage. Maybe 30,000 equity left." An idea formed. Beautiful. Perfect. Devastating. What if we don't negotiate? Let them go to trial, get convicted, then pursue maximum civil damages? They'd declare bankruptcy. Lose everything. Good. But what if we offered them a different deal? One that saves them from prison but costs them everything else? Marcus leaned forward. "I'm listening." The conference room felt like a courtroom. I arrived first, power suit sharp, makeup flawless. When they walked in, I barely recognized them. Dad looked ancient. Mom's eyes were hollow. Amber looked furious, still playing the victim. Their attorney Harrison read my contract. His eyes widened with each paragraph. "This is... You can't be serious." "Completely serious." "Non-negotiable." Marcus slid it across. "These are the terms." I spoke clearly. Each word a blade. "You admit to everything. Breaking and entering. Destruction. Theft. Signed confessions with video evidence." "What else?" Amber snapped. "You pay me $150,000 in restitution. For damages, emotional distress, lost income, legal fees and pain and suffering." Mom gasped. "We don't have that." "I know. Which brings me to the next term. The money comes from the forced sale of your house." Silence. Dad's face turned crimson. "You want us to sell our home? The home you refinanced twice to enable Amber failures?" "Yes, I want that home." I turned to Amber. "You will publicly admit in writing that your debt is your responsibility. You'll post on every platform that I had zero obligation to bail you out. You'll admit you broke into my house because I set a boundary." "I'm not doing that," Amber shouted. Do you know what that would do to my reputation? I don't care. You didn't care about my home. Final term, I continued. All three of you are prohibited from ever contacting me again. No calls, no texts, no emails, no third parties. Violate this, and original criminal charges are reinstated with maximum penalties, plus a restraining order. Dad's voice shook. You're really going to make us homeless? I met his eyes. You broke into mine and destroyed it. So yes. And before the guilt trip you have a choice. Accept these terms, or go to trial. Get convicted, spend years in prison, and lose the house anyway when you can't pay the mortgage from jail. Your choice, Sophia. Were your parents? Mom sobbed. How can you do this? This was my moment. Time to say everything I'd swallowed for 28 years. I stood, hands flat on the table. How can I do this? Let me tell you. Every birthday you forgot while throwing Amber parties. Every achievement you dismissed while celebrating her failures. Every time you told me I was too much, too ambitious, while handing her everything. Every time you made me invisible. My voice rose. Years of pain flooding out. I worked 3 jobs through college. 3 jobs. While you bought Amber a BMW. I lived in a flooded basement. I ate ramen for weeks. I wore the same 3 outfits for 2 years. And you never asked if I was okay. Not once. We thought you were fine. Mom tried. You thought I was fine because it was convenient. Because I didn't ask for help. But I didn't ask because I knew you wouldn't give it. I turned to Amber. And you've coasted your entire life. Never worked for anything. Never faced consequences. Well, I'm not them. I don't owe you anything just because we share DNA. Then I smiled. Not nicely. That house you destroyed? I already had an offer on it. A developer wants the whole block. They offered me $420,000. Their faces went white. Everything you destroyed. Most of it was thrift store stuff I was planning to get rid of. My real valuables, grandmother's actual china, important documents. Expensive electronics were already in secure storage because I was planning the move. You're saying we destroyed nothing important? Amber whispered. Oh no. You destroyed plenty. You destroyed any chance of a relationship with me. You destroyed your futures. But my actual valuable stuff, safe and sound, Marcus added, which means actual damages are significantly less than the $150,000 you're paying. My client is actually making substantial profit from your crime. That's not fair. Amber shouted. You tricked us. No, you assumed. You assumed I'd be devastated. You assumed you'd broken me. You were wrong. I sat back down. Those are my terms. You have 48 hours. They signed in 36 hours. Their house sold for $290,000, barely enough to cover the underwater mortgage and pay me. They moved into a cramped 2-bedroom apartment. All 3 together. Amber posted her public apology. It went viral for all the wrong reasons. Her influencer dreams died overnight. Last I heard, she's working at a call center for $9 an hour. Mom lost her boutique job. Wealthy ladies don't employ people with criminal records. Dad was put on probation at work. He'll never make partner. And me? The Victorian sold for $420,000. After paying my mortgage, I walked away with $380,000 in profit. Add the $150,000 they paid me? $530,000. I bought 3 more properties. Renovated. Flipped 2. Kept 1 as high-end rental. 6 months later, my net worth crossed $1 million. I'm 28. Self-made. Successful. Completely free. I bought a gorgeous modern house in a gated community with Fort Knox security. 3 bedrooms. Home office. Pool. Everything I dreamed of. Uncle Robert called last month. Your parents are filing for bankruptcy. Amber creditors are coming after them. They're losing everything. I should have felt bad. A good person would have felt bad. But all I felt was satisfaction. They tried to destroy me to save themselves. Instead, they destroyed themselves trying to hurt me. Perfect. Sometimes people ask if I have regrets, if I went too far, if I feel guilty. The answer is simple. No, not even a little. Because here's what I learned: family isn't about blood. It's about respect, support, showing up when it matters. They weren't my family. There were people who shared my DNA and used me as an emotional punching bag for 28 years. I didn't destroy their lives. They destroyed their own. I just refused to let them destroy mine. My life is incredible now. I'm building an empire, expanding into commercial real estate next year, mentoring young women, teaching them what I learned. You don't need anyone's permission to succeed. Uncle Robert comes to dinner monthly. He tells me he's proud, that he always knew I'd do something amazing. That's what real family sounds like. So if you're in a similar situation, if you have family who treat you like an ATM, who demand you sacrifice everything for their mistakes, who guilt and manipulate and destroy, here's my advice. Walk away. Set boundaries. Protect yourself. Build your own life. And if they can't respect that, if they try to tear you down, make them regret it. You don't owe anyone your success just because you share their last name. You don't owe anyone your peace just because they're family. You owe yourself the life you've worked for. That's it. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to cut off toxic family? What would you have done in my situation? Drop your story in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself.